Hans Kelsen talks about ground norm, right, being the basic norm, where all other norms are related to each other, either by being inferior norms when the one is compared to the other, or superior norms. Now, hold on to that. If you look at this diagram, you will see that the ground norm is the highest, right? And this is the society, the individual in the society that the law has to take care of, right? But how to take care of this person, I already mentioned, is through a legal norm. Meaning, what is the norm for us to take action against this negative person or criminal, right? So the norm must be in a way whereby it gets its power from the lower norms, meaning lower norms are given, say for example, powers to the police, right, in respect of capturing this criminal. So the lower norms, which is held by the police, is actually receive the authority or powers from higher norms. What are the higher norms then? The higher norms is by virtue of the provision of the law that grants the authority, the superiors in that particular domain, in order for that person to control those who are in his power, right? For the ketua pengarah polis and the pengarah-pengarah to be able to control and direct the team that is underneath that is directly under their control or their domain. So instruction that is given by the superiors to the lower subordinates in respect of how to do the action to conform their action that is in line with the legal norms. Because once you establish the illegal norms, and that legal norms can be the one that is being used towards the criminals. Now, where do they get the higher norms with the superior norms and lower norms? Yeah, so we can put it high, superior and lower norms. So these higher norms is actually received from the basic norm itself. As I mentioned, it is coming from the federal constitution. So if you do a tracing, yeah, if you do a tracing, meaning you do backtrack, yeah, in terms of the authority that is being given to the police, he got it from his sergeant, his captain, or what they call it, is higher superior person, right? So it comes to the pengara and then the IGP, right? So this IGP gets his power from the Police Act, and then if you look at the Police Act, where does it come from? It comes from the provision that is provided under the Constitution. Now, you might ask, where do you get the Police Act in the Constitution? But it goes along the line of to control the thing that is being stated in the basic norm. Like for example, Article 5 to Article 11, those are the basic needs or the basic rights that is given to the society in order for them to feel safe. Safe from what? Safe from the perpetrator. You know how to be safe from the perpetrator, then you have to have the legal norms activities, and how this took place is by virtue of the law. Okay, so he coming back, he forming the hierarchy of laws. We start from the basic norm, right, from the above, right, basic norm, meaning the constitution itself, right? Because why constitution? Because within the constitution, all the principles is there, right? The principle of how to run the country, right? How to have a good country, how to have a stable country, how to have a running country, yeah, a smooth running country. If you allow the criminals to be able to control the society, obviously the whole structure or the country falls down. we need to have law-abiding citizen. And how do you know that you have to have law-abiding citizen? Because of the basic norm. Now, we have the inferior and superior, which is the inferior and superior. The interaction of this norm is then further subjected to representation as a static theory of law or as a dynamic theory of law. Now, what do you mean by a static theory of law and dynamic of law? If you look at the static of law, meaning everyone in this structure, they are static in nature. They cannot change, right? So the power that they receive is static. Yeah, it is static because even though as you go up, yeah, as you go up, those people who are in power, they have more leeways, yeah, more ability to be free in order for them to do things. But as you go down, the structure is very rigid. Yeah? And then, say for example, you have to have forms. You go to the police, make a police report. There is a standard form, and then the method that you have to go through. Say for example, you want your somebody that you lose you lost someone from your family member, then they have to wait a certain number of hours, steps has to be done, right? But as you go up, then the thing becomes slightly what they call it dynamic, yeah, where it is becoming loose. But even that, even though we can say that these higher norms or the superior norm are more relaxed or more dynamic, but they are still static because they are being governed by the basic norm. Okay, so here, this is just to give you one example. Let's go to the example. Yeah, I look here with respect to a police act. Yeah, you know, police act is being created by the federal constitution branch of what they call it Dewan Negara, right? So the concept of Dewan Negara and Dewan Rakyat is actually the one that is given the power to create laws, and one of the laws is the Police Act. And within the Police Act itself, it gives the what they call it person in Police Act to be responsible, to be in control. Yeah. So if you look at this, then the force shall be under the command of Inspector General, who shall be a police officer and shall be responsible to the minister for the control and direction of the force. Meaning, uh, uh, power is given to him by this particular act. Yeah, if you are the IGP, then you should be able to receive such power. And how does he apply that power? Let's look at the police. Yeah, this is the website of the police force of Malaysia. And if you look at the structure, yeah, you can see the IGP here, Ketua Polis Negara, right? And then Timbalan. This is the structure. If you look at the structure and then you look at the jabatan-jabatan, right? If you look at jabatan, these are the jabatan that is contained in the police, right? So we have cawangan khas, jabatan siasatan jenayah, and so on, right? Let's look at one of them. So in this jabatan, ketua jabatan siasatan jenayah, you have a person, ya, diketuai oleh seorang pengarah berpangkat Commissioner Polis, and in this jabatan, where he is appointed by the ketua polis, right? Just now, right? If you look back, you see the structure is there, right? These are the people that is appointed by the IGP, uh, Ketua Polis Negara. Yeah? Now, if you look at the jabatan as we did just now, in the jabatan itself, we have subdivision. We have bahagian. Yeah, we have bahagian polisan kawalan, then naziran, perisikan jenayah, pendakwaan, bantuan teknik. So within this, you have a structure, another structure, substructure that is doing all this area that is created for them to do their job. So within that, the offices that is within this bahagian, they are bound to a certain structures. So that is the static nature of the law, where it maintain the structure, and these people cannot go and do their own. They are bound by a certain formality, certain norms. Yeah. Okay. Coming back. So that is the static, and then the dynamic. The dynamic talks about the pyramid itself. Okay. The the dynamic, just to make it simple for you. Dynamic means if, say for example, the basic norm that we have in the federal constitution, it is a general concept. What do you mean by general concept? You look at rights to life, okay, right to life, but it does not state how to ensure, how to uh, take away life. They have the right to life, but they are not to do certain things that is forfeiting their right to live. If they were to do a criminal act, that, say for example, you kill about 20 people, or just to put the point across, you kill 20 people, don't think that you are going to be free. Why? Because that 20 people have the right to live. Where do you get that? You get it in the federal constitution. Where do you get it? In the articles. Right to property, right to movement. So it all trickles down into the law that we create. Yeah, we have the Police Act. Why the Police Act is there? Because the Police Act is to maintain the peacefulness, or tranquility of the society. Why? It has to be maintained because that is the foundation of our society, because we believe in right to life. Therefore, the criminal down there cannot be doing things that is against the basic norms. Okay, if he were to go against the basic norm, then the structure of the police will come in through the hierarchy that I have shown you earlier, to counter and make sure. Because as far as the jabatan-jabatan, everything, we have this bahagian-bahagian within the jabatan siasatan jenayah. They are helping one another in order to capture the perpetrator, meaning the criminals. Okay, so it is what they call it a static, whereby it maintains the structure. However, it is also at the same time is dynamic. So when you go higher and higher, the law that is created is more general in nature. So we can repeal laws. Yeah? We have seen law being repealed. So law being repealed, one law that is being created must in a way that it repeals the other. It must clearly say that the previous law is now null and void. Yeah, this acta is to override the other acta and things like that. Why? Because it must go in line with the basic norm. You cannot have two laws that is different purpose. One is to protect life, one is not to protect life. One to guarantee freedom, one is not to guarantee freedom. So that is, you see changes to the law. Let's say, for example, we have what do you call it, the law that we have in, so we have SOSMA, right? Before this, we have the previous law. I can't remember the law, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So this ISA, sorry, it doesn't click. ISA, in order for ISA to be repealed, the new law have to mention specifically that the old law is to be repealed. Now, uh, the purpose of these two law are basically the same. And they are, if you look into it, even though some of you might say it is a barbaric laws and so on, the purpose is to maintain security of the nation. Why security of the nation is important? Because if the society is secured, if the country is secure, then the society feels safe, and that fit into the basic principle that is core to our constitution. Okay, so that's it for today. If you were to ask any question, okay, you can ask me in class later. Bye.